you're new here, I've been gone for a bit. I'm Bella, the maker mama boss lady behind Fiber and Fox, and I've been on maternity leave for probably 9 or 10 weeks at this point since we've last spoken. The last podcast I filmed was, I think, first week of September, and I was just ever so pregnant then. My son's here now, and he's marvelous. It's been really fantastic. This is going to be a crochet and knit podcast. I'm a crochet designer. I also knit. I talk about it here with you. But yeah, just real quick recap. This is, fair warning, probably going to be kind of a disheveled episode. Baby's with my husband right now. Not sure how long that will last. This may be filmed in segments. This may be filmed over several days. It may turn into a vlog. I don't know. Not wearing a hand knit. Hair's kind of crazy. Definitely going to be scatterbrained. Just love me anyway, okay? Yeah, it's good to be back. I've missed this. It's fun. But yeah, everything has been fantastic. I'm not a huge sharer on the family front, but yeah, I do want to say just some encouraging words because I feel like there's so much negativity surrounding childbirth and children, and I just want to give good testimony of it's actually pretty awesome. So yeah, this was our second child, second all natural, no medication, intervention-free birth, and it's amazing. And I know every birth is different. I know every person is different. Every baby is different, all of that. So no need to come at me in the comments, but I don't know. I am really passionate about this stuff, and I want to share the joy that it is. He really relatively uneventful birth, difficult, but uneventful. Nothing bad happened. But he was basically just a smidge shy of 9 pounds at birth. So he's a big boy and has been growing since then. So I'm glad I sized up on all the handmade stuff that I made because he outgrew a lot of it very quickly. Yeah, big boy, very happy, very content, pretty chill. And our daughter was not chill. So this is a new experience for us. But yeah, like postpartum, super easy, birth uneventful. He's just fantastic, and it's been a joy. So I just wanted to share that. And if ever you need some encouragement in the natural birth realm, I'm not an expert in that at all, but I've done it twice and I'm very passionate about it. So hit me up on Instagram or something, and I would be happy to give you some encouraging words because it can be very overwhelming. But yeah, this is a crochet podcast, so we'll talk about that. But yes, my son is here. He's about 2 months or so at this point that I'm filming in 2022, and we're going to call him Ro for the sake of the internet. We call my daughter Rue on here, and we're going to call him Ro, and yeah, they're great. Just being a family of 4 has been great. Transitioning my daughter over into being a big sister has been phenomenal. Obviously some bumps here and there, but overall we are all just so happy, and yeah, it's good to be back to share with you. I've actually been making quite a lot, which is another encouraging thing I want to say. Like, I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, once you have that baby, you're not going to have any time for any of your stuff or any of your hobbies, or you're not going to be able to crochet. I've been making a ton. And I definitely made a ton with my daughter as well, and she was very demanding. So you figure it out. And if you don't have time for making, that's fine too. You don't have the desire to make, that's fine too. I'm just, all of this is sharing my experience and things that are bringing me joy. So take that for what it is, for what it's worth, or whatever the saying is. I don't know. I just had a baby. But I have a big old pile, and I've been trying to figure out if I want to share all of it with you or how I'm going to share it all, how I'm going to fit it all in an episode, how long my son's going to last out there. So I'm just going to start going down the list of like finished objects and stuff, and we'll see how far we get. Some of this stuff, it feels like I've made it a super long time ago because I don't know, the newborn phase is obviously complicated, and you're maybe a little sleep deprived or a lot sleep deprived depending on the day. But he's actually a good sleeper, which is awesome. But yeah, all of it feels like it's been a long time, and it feels like he's never not been part of our family at this point. But then I like think back and I'm like, oh yeah, last episode, like he was internal, and now he's external, and it's great. But yeah, I got all of this stuff done in the newborn phase, and it keeps my anxiety low and my blood pressure low, and I love making. But yeah, babies are complicated, but hard is not the same thing as bad. So I did get plenty of making time. Let's see. First, we're going to go with some socks I made for my daughter. I don't have little kid sock blockers, so we're just going to look at them as is. I can already hear him having a fuss out there, so we'll see how this goes. But these are some version. I don't remember if I made any changes. I don't even remember who it's by. Let's see. It's on the last show notes. These are some version of the Hearth and Home socks by Larkspur Knits. I made an adult size pair for myself, and I don't think there's any smaller sizing in the pattern. I think I just altered the stitch count and then followed the stitch pattern. But it's a fun textured sock. And I made this with some yarn that I collected everything into a neat pile earlier today, but get it out. Come on, Bella. You know how to podcast. I'm sorry, guys. I promise this is not normally this chaotic. If you are a new viewer, go back and watch some older episodes, but you're going to have to just give me some grace in this episode. And I don't know how much editing and adding in text and whatever is going to happen post-filming, but we're going to try. All right, so I used this yarn. This is yarn that I had thrifted, and it was in a hank in a bag with no tag at a thrift store for like $3. And I was like, oh, hand-dyed yarn. And was really excited about it. And it's decent yarn, but it turns out it's actually that knockoff. I'm going to steal the hand-dyed yarn dyers dye methods from Hobby Lobby. Not a huge fan of that, but and the yarn quality itself is not the highest as far as a superwash sock yarn goes. You can feel the difference a little bit, but yeah, it was $3 and I thrifted it and made some socks for my daughter. And then the mini is, or the contrast color is a mini skein, and I'm honestly not sure where it's from. So these two Hearth and Home socks by Larkspur Knits. Made them for my daughter. They're cute. They're very soft. I'm not sure how hard wearing this is going to be. It is superwash. I don't actually know. I'd have to look on like the Hobby Lobby website if there's actually nylon in it or not, but she outgrows socks so fast that it's not like it needs to last her as long as mine lasts me. So these are good. She likes to have hand knit socks for when it's snowy out for the winter. So made those. Check. Did that. I have a big old pile of stuff here. What else can I show you next? Okay, we'll do this. Hopefully this doesn't all topple. I made some cardigans for my babies. So many things over here, guys. Oh my gracious. My basket overfloweth. I made some cardigans, and my son has very much since outgrown his, but I made these we did 2-week photos, a family photo shoot with a friend of mine who's a photographer, and she did photos of my daughter as well when she was first born. So I made some matching outfits. So cute, but he totally doesn't fit in it anymore. I could probably get the body of it on him if I really tried, but the arms are too tiny. Which is funny because with my daughter, we were able to, like, I think she still has cardigans in her closet from like 12 months old, maybe even earlier, that she wears as like short sleeves and crop now because, I don't know, they were like lacy and more open and flowy and not as tight of a gauge, and girls can like wear cropped things more easily. But like, yeah, a cropped grandpa cardigan on a boy isn't really like a thing. So I made this one for my son. And then this one for my daughter. It's basically the same, except it has poofier sleeves and a ruffly edge and different fancier buttons. But there's no pattern for either of these. They are a version of my Fields cardigan, which comes in women's sizing, extra small through 4X, but not any children's sizing. Just knowing my math and stuff, I was able to make kid sizes, but I'm not going to release a pattern for these. Sorry, I'm not doing kid sizes. That's a lot of grading. Oh, something crazy is going on with this button thread here. What all is that about? Okay, but this is, yeah, this one fits her still. Obviously, she's not growing as fast as my newborn boy, but we took family photos and they look so cute. So cute, so beautiful. We did them outside. They're gorgeous. If I can find one where I can like crop out their faces, maybe I'll put in a picture here of the sweaters. But maybe not, because who knows what's happening post on this video. But nothing super noteworthy. This was some brown. Again, I know how to do this. This is this yarn. It is a cotton viscose bamboo blend and color cognac. So that was the main color, and then I used Knit Picks I have the yarn label, I promise. Yep, the beige. This part is Knit Picks. Who named this yarn? There's someone tell me. And the color is something probably not very exciting. She doesn't even say what the color number is. Oh yeah, B285. B285. It's a beige color, and then I held it double with a cone. They're up there. Cone from Green Mountain Spinnery. There's a common theme here. I work cone yarn mill ends into a lot of things. So this was just a single ply that I kind of marled the beige and the white together. These are some standard, I think coconut-ish. Yeah, coconut buttons. And then these ones are handmade, special ones that I've been holding on to for a while. From my friend Lori of, she's both flatland alpacas and fiber and mud. So I'm not sure. I think the buttons is the fiber and mud component, but she does, she has alpacas. She does indigo dyeing. We're gonna talk about more of her later because I have some stuff that I've acquired, but alpacas, indigo, grows indigo, makes dye, dyes things. It also does the ceramic buttons. So she's great. So I made these cardigans and they're darling. And unfortunately my daughter's gonna get a lot more wear out of hers than my son ever did. I think he wore it like twice, but we at least have pictures to commemorate it. And it's lovely. Fields cardigan if you want to make one for yourself. Highly recommend. It's a great knit knockoff pattern. But like I said, don't have the baby sizes. So I made those, and then I don't have to show you, but I made a peach, ruffly, lacy, pretty girly baby make for a friend of mine who is about to have a baby at like any instant. So I made her a little baby ruffly dress for her baby shower. It was the mustard bow dress, mustard bow dress. The original one's yellow, by Mon Petit Violon. That's my best French pronunciation. So I'll put a picture in here if I can. Then I have also made basically mittens for all of us at this point. Well, no, not for Jojo. Jojo didn't get any mittens. I don't think he wants mittens. But I made the world's, I think the pattern is the world's simplest mitts by Tin Can Knits. And this is also some thrifted yarn. I don't often have success with thrifting yarn. This episode is kind of heavy on the thrifted yarn, so that's exciting. But this is one of these. I'm not sure which one is which because I didn't pay attention to color numbers, but I thrifted, oh man, I ripped the tag. It's okay, I'll show you. Sublime Cashmere Merino Silk Aran. And I don't know what the colorways are on any of them. I have 4 different skeins, but 75 extra fine merino, 20% silk, and 5% cashmere. It is ever so soft. It has proven to not be hard wearing whatsoever at all. As my daughter wore these once today, and I don't know if you could tell, but they're already, oh, they got some nature in them. But we wore these once in the woods today on a walk, and they're already like pilling and fuzzing because merino and cashmere and silk are fancy, but not the most durable. But I thought cashmere was supposed to be less pilly because of long staple length or something. I don't know. Maybe it's the opposite. But it's a really pretty yarn. So I have this pink color, pink that I have for the mittens, a little nugget left, blue that we'll talk about in a minute, and then another Hank 50 grams. I think they were 50 grams. Are you 50 grams? 20 grams? 50 grams. 50 grams each skein, and I think I got them all for like $6 or something. So it was a pretty good deal. And yeah, the mittens aren't gonna last her forever anyway, so I don't so much mind if it was like a sweater or something that I made and it got pilly this fast. I'd probably be annoyed, but it's just a mitten. But this is the World's Simplest Mitts by Tin Can Knits. They have infant through adult sizing on the mittens in any weight of yarn. So basically you pick your yarn weight, and then it has info on gauge and needles for that particular yarn weight. I didn't gauge on these actually, but this is obviously the Aran or worsted weight version. I think I made the child size. I've done the toddler size before and she outgrew those. I don't remember if there's a baby size. I may have hacked that for my son. I don't remember. But I think the gauge was a little bit tighter on mine than in the pattern. They're a wee bit, they're not small on her, but they'd like fit her with not really any room to spare. But I don't think the yarn's going to hold up for a second season anyway. So she'll wear them this year and play outside. We went on a nice walk in the woods today, and she really likes, she just keeps saying, thank you for making me these mittens, Mama. Like, she really loves hand knits. So I love to make them for her. But yeah, she's really excited about the pink color. And I was going to do a cowl or something. She doesn't really need any hats because her hats from last year still fit. But a cowl, this is attractive. Come on, other pink one, come on down. I have this left of pink. So I might be able to work. I was going to do like a color work, add some gray and cowl, but I might just stripe it or something. I don't know, but she'll actually wear the stuff, so I'm happy to make it for her. And this wasn't a super big investment on yarn or anything, so if she outgrows it or it doesn't wear super well, I'm fine with that. But definitely recommend the World's Simplest Mitts pattern. I made these, the thing that usually puts me off from making mittens is having to use double pointed needles, but then I had this epiphany that I could use my short Chowgu cables and work with 2 needles, kind of like when I do the socks with the flexi flyer things. So I did it with 2 interchangeables. There's tutorials on how to do socks like that. I don't know if there's a mitten tutorial out there anywhere, but I think Knitty Natty has one on how to do socks, if that sounds confusing to you. But yeah, you just have 2 needles in, one on the front, one on the back, and you work. The front is the front, and the front is, and the back is the back. This is not the podcast for me to explain techniques to you. But yeah, I hate magic loop and I hate DPNs, but being able to work them over 2 was amazing. So I did that and it worked great. So those are Simplest Mitts. Also made a pair for my son without the thumb in the blue yarn. So I just didn't do the thumb gusset and just continued on and cast off. An itty bitty little pair, but those ones are out in the car and they're not that exciting. They're like this big. They're super cute. But they're out in the car. But they're in the blue one. Same yarn. Again, not going to fit him for long, so that's not the same. That's not the yarn I meant to show you. This blue yarn. So yeah, I made him that. And then I also made him a hat. He is not a fan of hats, but it is November in New England, and it's honestly been freakishly warm. It was like 75, almost 80 last week in November, which is normally we play like, can we make it to November without turning the heat on, which is hardcore because most people start in like October. But my husband and I are cheapos like that. So normally we're like, can we make it to November? But it's been in the 70s and it's been beautiful. But this week it's finally hitting like 40s and it's been freezing like in the morning. So when we go on walks and stuff in the afternoon, we definitely need some hats. But yeah, I don't love the stripes. I wanted to make the hat out of just the blue, and I think I got up to the decreases and like ran out because I had already made the mittens. Yes, I made the mittens first, the mitts. And then I was hoping I could make a hat, but I guess 50 grams isn't enough to make a hat and mitts for a baby. So I incorporated this other gray random yarn. I think this one's just acrylic, but they have a similar ply to them. This is the classic ribbed beanie, 1x1 ribbed beanie, Pearl Soho. I'll link it. And I should mention, usually down below the video is all the links and the show notes and the blog and everything you need to know. There's probably not going to be a blog post, but I will try and put links that I mention any of these patterns down below the video. Usually I'm very good about that, but again, you get what you get at this point. I'm trying. Yeah, it's a free pattern by Pearl Soho. The mitten pattern is also free. Great for gifting, great for the whole family, great for making matching sets. Recommend. So this is a Pearl Soho pattern. I like the decreases on the top. They're pretty. So I'm not a fan. I feel like this color scheme is like very 90s. Like this blue in particular, I feel like every teenage boy had like a boxy blue shirt like this. Is that just me? Am I imagining that? But it's not my favorite shade of blue, but I had the yarn. Blue, honestly, I don't like very much at all, but it's my daughter's favorite color, and now I have a son, there's probably going to be some blue in my life. So I used up this yarn, trying to work out a stash, made a hat, fits my kid, keeps him warm, doesn't love it, but keeps him warm. So we have that. And then what else? This is a whip, but I feel like I should, no, I'll show it after. I'm also working on a hat for my husband in the same pattern, but it's a whip, so we'll talk about that in a moment. We're actually doing okay on time. I thought this was going to be like super, super, super long, but it might just be normalish long. Other finished objects, I'm not going to put this on, but I just finished these all basically today. I was like ready to go on the walk, and I was casting off the thumb gusset on my mitts, but I made with another free Purl Soho pattern, the Purl Soho Bandana cowl, I think is just the name of the pattern. They were doing a crochet along, or a knit along right now. I kind of altered the pattern. I can hear my son. Can you hear my son? But this is the Purl Soho Bandana cowl. It is a triangular pointy. I need to block it still. I just wanted to wear it today. Triangular pointy, Aran bulky weight, super thick cozy cowl. The original pattern has an inch or so of garter on the top and an inch or so of garter on the bottom. I follow the pattern other than that. I don't love garter, so I ended up doing an I-cord around the top and around the bottom. And I think blocking would help it to look nicer because it's pretty. It's got like a ridge here and some short rows. And I actually made this one like 2.5 times because I cast it on just gray yarn. I'll tell you about the yarn in a minute. Cast it on in just the gray yarn, didn't love that. And then cast it on a second time holding the 2 yarns that I have, but I somehow shifted the short rows completely to the side and it was like just wrong. So then I ripped it back again and then started it again, but didn't like the garter. So then I started it again and did the whole thing correctly. So I'm very happy with it. It's super warm. So it's very cozy in the woods. I'll tell you about the yarn in just a minute. And then I also made a matching pair with the leftover yarn of the World's Simplest Mitts, except I made them fingerless gloves for myself. And I'm not going to put the cowl on because it's going to mess up my already crazy hair and make it even crazier. But it fits and it's very cozy and snug around my neck. And I think blocking it will make it ever so slightly better. So then I made these mitts. Basically, instead of doing the mitten top part, I just did some ribbing and bound off. I did 2x2 ribbing on mine. The pattern calls for 1x1. But the pattern's super easy to adapt. Again, I just followed the stitch count basically for the, I think, adult medium in a bulky weight yarn. So these are incredibly cozy. And I don't, like if I'm playing in the snow with my kids, I have kids, I will wear like actual like ski gloves, but I don't like gloves or mittens very much. But again, it's cold when you're outside, so it's a good option to have, but I like having my fingers free and like driving. I don't like having my fingers covered up and all of that. And so I can do car seats with these. I can use my phone if I need to. I can take care of children. Like, it's just more practical to not have my fingers covered. I think I made them ever so slightly different sizes. One is a little taller, but that's okay. No one will know. I had stitch markers and everything, but whatever. So I used up basically all of the yarn that I have for this, which again, I had 2 skeins. And then I worked in a Green Mountain spinnery cone because always, this is just a single ply mystery wool yarn, mill ends. You can get them super cheap and I work them into everything. So the yarn here is, I'm a new Knitcrate affiliate member. If you're not familiar with Knitcrate, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it. You can see the green box back there. I have an unboxing to do at the end of the acquisitions section, acquirings. I never call it acquisitions. Acquiring section. But this was from my first crate, and there were 2 skeins of this. Knitcrate, if you're not familiar, is a monthly yarn subscription box, and mine is the Knit and Crochet box, but they also have, I think, a sock box and maybe one other version too, but it's basically a monthly yarn surprise. And you get to sort of pick and choose like your preferences, but you don't get to know what the yarn is that's coming. There's like, you tell them kind of what color scheme sort of thing you like. That was super descriptive. But you don't get to pick the yarn. So you know you're getting like 1 out of 3 yarns, but you don't know which one. So it's a surprise every month, and they reached out and asked if I wanted to try it, and I was like, absolutely yes. Who doesn't want fun surprise yarn? So this is going to be a stretch for me because usually I would probably honestly be more comfortable with the sock box. Even if I didn't make socks with it, I'm just very comfortable with fingering weight and lighter weight yarns. But I think that knit and crochet one is probably, I can't say for sure because this is my first one, and that's my second. But from what I've seen from other people, I think they tend to be more DK worsted chunky weights, which is what a lot of people are more comfortable with. I'm kind of the other end of the spectrum. But yeah, I'm going to tell you more about how you can get you some Knitcrate. But I will say, if I wasn't clear, I'm an affiliate. They sent these to me. But this was the first box. There were 2 skeins of this. It's a beautiful green gray. Like I said, I ended up holding it double, but the yarn itself, green gray, is exclusive to Knitcrate. I ripped this tag, but it's Audine wools in the mellow base, I think, and by Knitcrate. And the color is called High and Dry, 80% alpaca, 20% tencel, bulky weight, 125 yards to 100 grams, custom made in Peru exclusively for Knitcrate. So this is just out of my comfort zone, but obviously for something like mitts or a cowl, it's great to have a warmer, thicker than like fingering weight if you want it to be not just for looks and actually for warmth. So for being outside, this is fantastic. And I do really like alpaca, but if you're not familiar with working with it, it's super warm, super soft. Although some people find it itchy because it has very long, I don't know if you can see, very long, like, it looks like hairs coming out of it, like something shed on it. Because alpacas that just have long, floofy fibers like that, and that bothers some people, but I find it very soft. It's ever so tickly when you first put it on, but once your body warms up, I feel it's pretty soft, and I find it more tolerable than like a woolly wool, for me personally. But it has like no muscle memory, if that makes any sense. Like, it's very drapey, and if you make a sweater, like the saying is, like, if you knit a sweater in alpaca, it'll start as a sweater and end as a dress because it just grows and it doesn't really hold shape very well. So I started making the cowl in just the alpaca, and it was just too, I knew it wasn't gonna like stand up on my neck at all. It was just gonna all like, alpaca. So that's why I ended up holding it double, but it's quite lovely. And with the 200 gram skeins of the bulky weight, I was able to get this and the 2 mitts. And I still have this little nugget that I've shown you many times now left over. I should have weighed how much it was, but I had no idea what I was going to be able to get out of it because I'm not used to working with bulky weight yarns. But that was really exciting, and I love the gray. I think with the Knitcrate, there's going to be some that I'm going to love more than others, which I think is how it works with surprise yarn. But I really, really like the gray, and I'm really pleased with these final products. So I'm going to share the other Knitcrate unboxing with you in a couple minutes. But basically, if you would like to get you some Knitcrate in your life and pick either the sock box or the knit and crochet box, or however, which one suits your fancy, you can sign up down below. I will put a link for you. And if you're not familiar with how affiliate links work, I'm going to get a little kickback from Knitcrate. It's not going to cost any more to you, no trouble to you whatsoever, but they just give me a little commission for referring you. But with your sign up with my code Fiber and Fox as your promo code, you're going to get $40 off your first box. So basically it's going to be, you're just going to pay the shipping. The box itself, the yarn itself, the goodies are going to be free. And then you're going to get a 20% off coupon to spend in the Knitcrate shop on anything above and beyond the subscription box, because you can purchase yarn from previous months and other goodies and stuff. So check that out. And then after 3 months, I think you get another $40 off, or another 40% off. 40% off or $40? I forget which one. I'll put it down below. Off in the future. So really fun. I'm looking forward to getting this fun teal box every month. And this also came, there's usually a goodie in the box as well of some kind, and this came with the alpaca line. It's a fun, it's got a zipper on the top and the bottom, which is interesting. It's like a little mesh pouch, and it's got a checklist on there. Can you see that? No, it's glaring. Scissors, tapestry needle, tape measure, reading backwards on the camera, needles or hook, and Knitcrate pattern. And each crate comes with a little pamphlet-y thing that has a QR code that is going to let you download patterns. And this one's theme was Western Sun, so you would get one of each of, there was 2 for the knit and crochet and then 2 for the sock club. And there's patterns. It used to send you the pattern booklet, and now it's just the QR code, and you can go download the pattern for yourself. So super fun. I'm assuming it's going to be more than 1 skein every month, but I'm not entirely sure. I think the sock box, you probably get just 1 skein, and with this one, I think you might get more. So that's exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing how that all works out, and I haven't opened this one yet, so we'll open that together in a couple minutes. And I can hear the fuss out there, so can we plow through my whips? That was it for the finished objects. There may have been some other random things that I did in my maternity leave time, but that's pretty much it. I feel like I did a lot of stuff, and I have 2 whips on the needles as well. So this is another of the, whatever the Pearl Soho hat is called. And it is tangled up in yarn. Let me just get my life together here. Pardon me. Okay. And this is going to be for my husband Jojo. He is a big hat wearer. And so far he only has, I knitted him hats way early, like when we were dating. So like a long time ago when I wasn't as good at knitting. Like 11 or so years ago. And he has a bunch of crocheted hats. He has a ton of my Bolton beanie, which is a hat that I designed for him. And then he has some store-bought and gifted other hats as well. But he wanted a knit lighter weight because the Bolton beanie is worsted weight and it's pretty thick. So this is a DK weight knit hat, which is just a little bit of a lighter fabric that he could wear indoors or outdoors and not have to take it off, because he usually wears a baseball cap in the summer and then a beanie in the winter, but not like once he goes inside, because it's just too warm. So I'm making him a lightweight one. The pattern calls for a rolled, which I didn't mention on my son's. I made it shorter because I ran out of blue yarn. But it's going to call for a rolled like brim. It's not a double sewn brim, but it has like a rolled cuffed brim. So it's a very long hat. But I don't know if he's going to like that. So I'm going to make it normal beanie length, have him try it on, and then ask him. But I'm also thinking about maybe doing a double brim, folding it in and sewing it down. I think that he might be more likely to wear, but he might actually just want it to be thin and not cuffed. So I'll ask him about that. This is, I think I have the label for this one. If not, I'll pull the second skein off the shelf, because I do have 2 of this one. Yeah, we'll grab this one. I'm not sure what this brand is. Variations DK yarn by Friendly Products. I'm not sure if Variations DK is the company or Friendly Products is the company, but I got this at a local yarn store. It's Australian Merino, and it is the colorway Black Pearl, which I love me a piratey reference. And I think it's working up quite beautifully. I considered alternating the 2 skeins, but it's not like really pooling or anything. It's kind of just a tonally gray. So I'm not too worried about that, and I don't even know if I'm going to need the second skein. The pattern is written for worsted weight, I think. And I'm doing it in a DK, and I think I sized up or something. I don't remember what I did, but I think it's originally a worsted weight pattern. So this one's just a little bit looser. I think I'm using the called for needle size, but with a DK. I don't know. So I don't know if I'm going to need the second skein. But I might ask him if he wants some fingerless gloves out of this. Or I might make myself a matching hat or something. But I'm really liking this gray. He wanted a charcoal gray. And I think this is just beautiful, and I love the pirate reference. And I made this stitch marker out of a bead that a local maker made. So that's that. And I have one more whip. and the sun has seemingly quieted down out there, but I'll probably have to do the acquiring section either later or at another date, so stay tuned for that. But, oh, we're in the middle of a row because that's where life is at right now. You knit when you can. But this is the Hemingway socks, not Hemingway, Hemingway socks by somebody. Who are you by? All Knit Up, I think. All Knit Up Designs, is that correct? Let me look at my notes here. Let me actually get to my notes here. Yes, All Knit Up Designs. Not a designer that I was familiar with. I think I pulled up free sock patterns on Ravelry or something. But it's another textured, ribbed-like sock, because that's kind of my go-to. Pretty sure it was a free pattern. It's very stretchy, very pretty. And this is yarn that my daughter and I had dyed together pre-baby with some leftover tie-dye kit. I think it made the yarn kind of crunchy. I don't particularly love the feel. I think it was the dye because I don't mind the yarn base by itself. Something in the tie-dye kit was like not great for natural fibers or something. I don't know. But we were dyeing over some onesies for the coming baby, and we chucked the rest of it on a skein of yarn, and she loves dyeing with me. So that was fun and totally safe because it was, totally safe. So it was a tie-dye kit, and it came out really pretty, and I think it's super autumnal. And then the mini that I'm using is another one that we dyed with some leftover coffee. So they work together lovely. I think I finished one sock. Do I have a finished sock? I don't even know. Yes, that's the second sock. Whew. That fourth trimester, as they call it. My husband thinks that's the most ridiculous term because how can you have 4 trimesters? It's a valid point. Fourth trimester, it's interesting. But yeah, so I got one finished. They look super narrow, but they stretch a lot because of the ribbed pattern. But these are really pretty, and I think I would make another pair like this. Look how pretty this is. This yarn, though. My daughter is just really good at dumping jars of dye onto yarn and getting really great results. We could probably monetize it, but we're not gonna. Really beautiful. Look at that orange. I love that. The yarn honestly came out better than the onesies. The onesies were kind of chaotic, but the yarn is great. So those are my whips, and I have a bunch of acquirings that I want to share with you. I went to a fiber festival. We got the Knitcrate. One of my favorite dyers had an update. But I'm going to go check on the babe and see if we can either calm him down or come back at another time, and then we'll talk some acquirings. See you in a bit. Okay, and we're back. I do apologize if this episode at all has felt rushed. I feel like, I always talk fast, but I feel like I've been talking really fast because I do feel rushed. I feel like I'm trying to beat a clock. Like that game you put the little pieces in and it popped up at you. I can't remember what it was called. It was the terror of the 90s. Concentration? Is that it? That's what I feel like. I feel like the baby's gonna pop up at any moment. And I'm trying to get this all in before then. So let's open this Knitcrate. So it comes in this cute box. It says Knitcrate. And they intentionally put your address on the bottom so you can, show off the box and not give everyone your address, which I like. Because a lot of times I get packages and I have to be like, cover, don't look, repackage. But knitcrate.com. Sorry for the glare from my light. Here we go. All right, so let's see what's in this one. I did cut the tape on it already. And again, this is the Crochet and Knit box. Okay. So everything's packaged lovely in here. We got some cute, I don't know if the tissue paper is different every time, but it's cute tissue paper. And the theme of this one is Pop Dreams. The music is thumping, the lights and flashing, and you're ready to dance all night long. I don't know what that has to do with yarn, but that's the inspiration and kind of the color palette there. So I don't know if this was for, I should have said, the last one was for October, and this one is the November one, I believe. So for the Knit and Crochet Club, there are 3 colors, Cinderella, Coquette, and Dance Party. And the Sock Club was the colorway Afterglow. So like I said, you get to pick your preference on the site, and then you're going to get a surprise, at least for this one. I don't know if this one always has only one. The other box I think had 2. I don't really know about the sock club situation, but the knit and crochet one, it's usually 3 and you get one of the 3. Oh, I see what I have in here now. Okay. Sorry if that's crinkly. Oh, are you alpaca again? We have some lavender colored, lilac colored? I'd say probably lilac. This is Knitology by Knitcrate, Knitology Swirl. And in the colorway Coquette, I think is how we say that. 65% superwash merino, 35% Surrey alpaca, worsted weight, 225 yards to 100 grams. Custom made in Peru, exclusively for Knitcrate. And I think the October box sold out, but a lot of times you can, if you see somebody posting and you're not a member of Knitcrate, you can go back and purchase the yarn from the website. So I think this one's still available if you are interested in buying previous months, but sometimes they do sell out, like I said. But yeah, this one's a worsted weight, and again, it's somewhat alpaca. You can see the long, maybe you can't, the long floofies in there. This is a worsted weight, which is again out of my comfort zone. It's very soft, but it's got, you can see that alpaca drape to it. I would say if I had to pick which color I would have wanted, probably would have gone for this dance party one. I think I'm supposed to not show you that stuff. That dance party one. But my daughter will really like this color. I am not a pastel, girly color kind of person. My daughter will definitely, what can you do with 2 skeins of worsted weight? I could probably work it in with these, honestly. These other skeins. Oh, those actually go nice together. So maybe I can do a hat and a cowl. Or maybe, could I get a colorwork sweater out of 2? I need to do some looking on Ravelry for, so again, I don't make stuff in worsted weight. I don't know if I could get, I don't think I could get a whole sweater out of 2 skeins of worsted weight for my daughter. I don't think so, because I've used DK and worsted weight to make some like summer items for her, and yeah, I don't know. I'll need to look on Rav, but if you have any suggestions, I don't know what the pattern included is, because like I said, they used to send you the actual booklet with the pattern, but now it's a digital download, so I would need to go and look, but chances are I'm going to be winging it on most of it. Probably not going to follow the patterns from the box. And then the goodie for this month is some soak. And it's unscented, which is nice because I am very sensitive to fragrance. But this is a non-rinse wool wash. And I've used Eucalyptus before. I don't think I've actually used soak because usually it's a fragrance thing. So yeah, that is the Knitcrate for the month. So that is exciting. And I'll have more of those to share with you soon. And like I said, if you want to check it out for yourself, it's a great thing to ask for as a gift for Christmas or whatnot, or even if you have other fiber friends to maybe gift to them. And I believe you are on a month-by-month basis. So I don't think you're signing up for the whole year. I think you're only signing up for a month. So if there's a month that you're not particularly liking, I believe that you can skip it because they do like a preview of like what colors and the themes and stuff are going to be. So if you're not super into it, it's not a huge commitment. And yeah, I get a little kickback, like I said. Would love it if you use my link, codes Fiber and Fox. But I'm going to share them from time to time. Either way. So I hope you like surprises like that. And then I grabbed some mini skeins from one of my favorite dyers, Jen from Lane and Lotus. She's actually a Connecticut local, but is just one of my favorite dyers regardless. She had been on a break for like a year from dyeing, just some personal reasons, and needed some mental health break. But she did an update and it was super exciting. So I grabbed some minis. Oh, they're so beautiful. Her yarns are such like that saturated rainbow that I really love. And I've done collabs with her. I've designed with her yarn. And yeah, these are some fingering weight minis. Look at that purple. I think that's the colorway. Actually, I don't know what that is. I think that is Take Me Home. I know what most of these colors are by heart because I love Jen's yarn so much. But yep, I grabbed those in an update. They are beautiful. I don't have a particular purpose for them, but I was kind of like, maybe she's never doing updates ever again, so I needed to grab some. But I love Jen's yarn. And then I went to I always mess it up. I have 2 vlogs from previous years. I didn't vlog this year because I had my baby in tow and my toddler, and my mom was there, but it was just a lot. But the Fiber Festival of New England or the New England Fiber Festival. I always mess it up, but I have vlogs from 2019 and 2020 if you want to go back in my vlog playlist and check those out. But we went, it's the first weekend of November, I believe, usually. We went and grabbed some yarn there. They hold it on the Biggie Fairgrounds in, I don't know if it's technically Springfield, Mass, but it's close to Springfield, Mass. With my mom, like I said, and it's a fun day. So I don't know what particular order I'm going to show these to you in. We already talked about Lori from Fiber and Mud, so I guess I'll show you the Fiber and Mud stuff. She gave me some Shibori napkins. She gifted these to me, which was super nice. And she's been so generous. She gave me a dress and a onesie for my son and daughter to be matchy-matchy as well. They're in their closets already. The onesie doesn't quite fit my son yet, but at some point I'll probably post some pictures of those because they're beautiful. But she grows the indigo and then she does the dyeing, and it's just incredible, and her stuff is such quality. I think I can put in a picture actually I took a picture of the onesie and stuff, but you're just beautiful. And my daughter has now had 3 of her dresses, and they're amazing quality, and we have worn them consistently. Like her 18th month one, like I said, it still fits as a cropped shirt. So it was a dress, and now it's a 3/4 length shirt, and it still fits her because it's cotton. So we've used those and loved them quite a bit. But I also got some more of the buttons. These ones I purchased because I just love. They feel so special. They're very heavy, so it's not good on a drapey garment. It has to be something that can kind of hold its own weight. But these ones were individuals that my daughter picked out. Some little purple hearts. And I don't know if you can see, but they all have like texture stamped into them. They're really, really, this one maybe you can see better. Really, really beautiful. I don't know if she sells these on her website. She sells all of the Shibori indigo stuff, but the buttons I've only ever seen in person. But maybe you could get in contact and ask her because they are lovely. Fiber and Mud. I will make sure to link her. So these are really chunky, beautiful ceramic buttons. Got those, and then I got these yellowy greeny ones. No projects in mind. I usually don't shop for buttons without having a project, but hers are just so special that I am happy to buy the buttons first and then make them match a project at some point. So I got those. She's always at the Fiber Fest, and I always make sure to hit up her booth because I love her stuff. This is her bag. Fiber and Mud. I believe it's flatlandalpacas.com. So I got that. And then I got, this is not a hand dye, but this is from a booth called Pollywogs. They sell really budget-friendly, very woolly yarn. On their Legacy lace base, I got some sock yarn, 75/25, plain black. Might be using this in a color work. My daughter wants a cat sweater with black cats on it. So I might be using this in that, might not. This was from another dyer called, I think this was her card. I have the cards. Ancient, no, maybe not. Yes. Ancient Threads Farm. I got a mini skein, and she also had dairy-free fudge, which is super fun because my daughter is dairy-free, and there's a lot of times not fudge that she can have, but they're from Melrose, New York. Got a purple mini. Kind of goes nice with the whole Lane and Lotus ones, although this one's more variegated. Beautiful color. I like it's got pops of blue in it. Really pretty. I just love a mini skein. Got that from her, and then I didn't grab the card, but another booth my daughter was going through, they had like a grab bag mini where you could like fill a bag for however much, and my daughter was just going through, touching them and appreciating yarn like she does, and they were like, oh honey, you can have one. So this is a really pretty blue that she picked out. And then another dyer was walking around. She wasn't actually part of the festival. I think she's an up-and-coming sort of dyer. I don't know anything about her, but Rockport, Maine, on the round. And she was just handing out, I hear the boy fussing, handing out mini skeins. So this is a single ply, which I'm never sure what to do with single ply. But really pretty in the colorway Pickle. So free mini skeins, that's pretty generous. And then one more from, I think this is Woolly's Yarn Creations. I'm not sure how to pronounce this. She had a bunch of silk and cotton yarns that I think she dyed. But then she also stocked some better known commercial yarns for sock yarns. So I've never worked with Regia. Never worked with this before, but I got 2 skeins of this sock yarn. I cannot read most of the things on the skein, but it is 75/25. I don't know what the colorway is called, but it's really pretty. Self-striping. So that's going to be some socks for me. And then I got some, I think it's, I have to listen to Carmen in my head. Scapies? She's from the Netherlands and that's how she says it. I've heard sheepsies, sheepjes. I think it's scapies. Because she's one of their ambassadors and is actually from the Netherlands. So I think that's how I say it. I'm sorry if it's not. But this is a one very flattened out skein in a bag. This is 100 grams, but like it looks just weird because it's shoved in this bag, but it's Invicta colors from Scapies. Another self-striping, I believe. I think self-patterning, I'm not really sure. Self-something sock yarn. So I'm going to do either socks or leg warmers or both because it's 100 grams for my daughter. And that's because I thought it was fun colors. I could take it out of the bag, but I'm just trying to race the clock at this point. So that was all I got at the Fiber Fest. Nothing hugely exciting. I kind of just like to go and walk around, and my daughter likes to pet the alpacas and the Angora rabbits, and it's just fun. It's not a huge one. It's very large, but not like huge like Rhinebeck, which just terrifies me and is overwhelming to my introverted heart. So that was a fun little bit of acquisitioning. And I think I shared everything with you. Again, I'm sorry if this was kind of a frazzled episode. One gets a little frazzled these days. But I am so happy to be back. I have no idea when I'll be doing another episode. No idea at all. I was previously, if you were a regular viewer previously, I was doing every other week very consistently. But there's just, I'm going to do what I can at this point. But hopefully coming up sometime soon, maybe we'll have more of a sleep schedule and a routine and whatnot, but he's still very much like sleeps when he wants to, eats when he wants to, and I'm fine with that because I'm a mama first. So more than happy to meet his needs, but also really like to chat with you guys and share what I'm making because I feel like the pile gets to a certain point where I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't know if I can even share this stuff or remember, like, obviously I was a little iffy on what I even did with these patterns and what they were. So hopefully I can get on more regularly. I know throughout like Christmas time too, stuff gets busy, but hopefully before the end of the year, you'll see me another couple times at least. Once more, and I do still have a yarn tour that I filmed and need to edit. I filmed like the week my son was born, and I'm very much pregnant in the video, and I feel weird putting it up now, but I don't want to refilm it. So I need to like film a intro or disclaimer or something and then get that up because I have a nice craft room tour of my new office to share with you guys. So that'll be coming again at some point. But thank you for sticking around. Thank you. If this is your first episode, thank you for sticking it out this long. That's a little out of the normal, but I really appreciate you guys, and I'm so glad to be back. And I will see you in episode, I didn't even say what episode this was. I think it's 59. So I think we're coming up on 60 episodes, and we're coming up on 5,000 subscribers, and it's all very exciting. Thanks for being here for it. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you in the next episode. I can't even speak. See you in the next episode, whenever that may be. Thanks, guys.